So, do join me. We are now getting into the Sigma Prepper quiz. Let's do it. Play along. Yes, indeed. Cheers, everybody. Sigma Prepper quiz, multiple choice, A, B, C, D. If you're watching this as a live cut, you are watching this as live cut from the Sigma Prepper quiz of the Sigma Prepper live show, going live on 11 PM UK time, 6 PM Eastern time. Do join us live next time. But for those that are with us live right now, good show. Thank you, Cynthia. We ain't even started yet, girlfriend. And RR Animal Rescue is going to have a try. Danger Bob's in the house, so he's going to be giving it a go. Yeah, look, Robert McNamara just got here just in time. And excellent. So we should be all good tonight. We'll see if we can get ourselves a 7 out of 7. What are you playing for? The Ultimate Prepper Award. That's what you're playing for. Look at it sparkle and glisten. Who wouldn't want to win that? And all you got to do is get, well, you don't even have to get 7 out of 7 to win the award, but if you do, that is an ultimate win, and we haven't had one yet. So this is like episode 7 or something tonight. So yeah, for the fact that we've had no winners for the last 7 episodes. So tonight's quiz topic, we're just going with general survival info and general prepper info. Oh, I'll give myself hiccups now, so we'll see how we get on with that. And so we've got a nice spread of questions, so it shouldn't be biased towards any one subject. So should we get into it then? This is how you play, just so you know. Don't pop your answers in one by one like this, because you'll just be telling everybody else live what you think the answers are. Wait until you've seen all 7 questions. When you see the 7th question, you've got your 7th answer. That's what you want to do, is enter in your answer at that point with your 7 characters all in a row like this, and then you know it's all good in the hood. And then you'll have 30 seconds at the end when you get to the last question. You'll have 30 seconds to get your last answer in, right? But don't put them in individually. Wait until you see all 7 and put your string of 7 characters in. So get ready then, and good luck. And don't forget, if you do get 7 out of 7, you'll be winning the Ultimate Prepper Award role on a Discord server. So don't forget, links in description, free to sign up to Discord. And if you win 7 out of 7, you'll get a special role for flexing on the server, right? So everyone will know, right, that you're the master. So should we do it then? Get into the questions. Let's see what we got for you this week. Are you sitting comfortably? Let's go, says Sandy. The dunce hat is mine. I don't know. You never know. You never know. Question number 1 then. Here we go. Which of these containers is the safest bottle for drinking water? Which of these containers is the safest bottle for drinking water? So this is based on like not having contaminants leaking out and nasty stuff, right? So A, PET plastic bottle, B, a glass bottle, C, BPA-free plastic bottle, or D, a polycarbonate bottle. Which of these is the safest for drinking water to be in your preps? PET plastic bottles A, B, glass bottles, C, BPA-free plastic bottles, or D, polycarbonate bottles. Question number 2. Which of the following aiming hardware is best for close, as in 20-yard range targets? Which of the following aiming hardware is best for close targets? Is it A, iron sights? Is it B, reflex or red dot sight? Is it C, a 4 times magnified scope? Or is it D, an 8 times magnified scope? Which of the following aiming hardware is best for close targets? Is it A, iron sights, B, reflex red dot sights, C, 4 times scope, or D, 8 times scope? Question number 3 then, nearly halfway there. What is the sun's total solar irradiance? So in terms of solar power, how much total sun available is there, per 1 meter squared, right? So how many watts per 1 meter, if you took a 1 meter by 1 meter, how much total available energy is there, assuming your solar panel was 100% efficient, how much could you get out of 1 meter by 1 meter? Is it A, 150 watts? This is based on sea level on a clear day, right? A, 150 watts, B, 500 watts, C, 1000 watts, or is it D, 2000 watts? A, 150 watts, B, 500 watts, C, 1000 watts, or D, 2000 watts? How much total energy for 1 meter square at sea level? Right, question number 4, more than halfway there. If all you have is soil, how much of it is needed to reduce the radiation, boom, mushroom cloud radiation, exposure by 50%? So to just limit it by 50%, not completely, but just 50% reduction of radiation, how much soil would you need between you and it? Is it A, 0.2 meters or 20 centimeters? Is it B, 1 meter or roughly 3 foot? Is it C, 3 meters or roughly 9 foot or 3 yards-ish? Or D, is it 6 meters or 6 yards? A, 0.2 meters, B, 1 meter, C, 3 meters, or D, 6 meters. Question number 5 then. What is the rear of an archery arrow that contacts the string called? The bit on the end of an arrow that goes up against the string. What's it called? Is it called A, a knock? Is it B, a butt? Is it C, a splanter? Or is it D, a backstop? A, knock, B, butt, C, splanter, or B, backstop? Question 6, the penultimate question. So, this is an important one, especially what we got coming this winter, right? Butane gas becomes unusable. I could have said unstable as well. Butane gas becomes unusable below what temperature? So this is basically the boiling point. And this is going to sound funny to some people who aren't familiar with physics and stuff, but we're talking about the boiling point of butane, right? So at what point does it become unusable? It doesn't A, minus 42 degrees centigrade or minus 43 Fahrenheit. Is it B, minus 32 degrees centigrade, minus 26 degrees Fahrenheit? Is it C, minus 11 degrees centigrade or 12 degrees Fahrenheit? Or is it D, minus 1 degree centigrade, 31 Fahrenheit, where it becomes unusable because it's too cold? A, minus 42 degrees C, B, minus 32 degrees C, C, minus 11 degrees C, or D, minus 1 degree C. So, question number 7 is the final question. Once you see this, you're going to be ready to put all your answers in. So, I wonder if, I'm not sure if Xavier is actually keeping track of everything. Just let us know you're in the house and ready, Xavier, for the scoring. So, final question then. What is the correct colour jerry can? I know there's a few people who've been begging for this question to come up because we talked about it on the VIP after party several weeks ago. What is the correct colour jerry can to use for diesel? So, out of all the colours, what jerry can would you use for diesel? Is it A, yellow, B, red, C, white, or D, blue? What's the correct understood colour for a jerry can? X is in the house. For diesel. Would you put that in a yellow can? Would you put that in a red can for B? C, white fuel jerry can, or D, blue? So get your answers in the chat, because tell you what, that is it for the 7 questions, and here we go. Let's have a look and see what we got coming in then. Thank you everyone for playing along, really appreciate it. I just saw a didn't I get another thing censoring a question somewhere? Did it? I can't see it. But we had Danger Bobbin was actually first in the actual with an answer there. We don't know which one's right or wrong yet. We've got to go through with the answers. And time's up, Rubber Ducks. Basically, we had Urban Harvesting was second. Sorry, time up. Urban Harvesting was second in there. Daily Survival was third. Then we had Noelle Marie. Great to see you, my darling. Are you still working and you're playing along with the quiz at the same time, Noelle? And Master X, good man, moderator of all moderators in the house for the show. Amphir was next. Then it's Extreme Focus. Then it was Sandy, Anzac Girl, Carolyn Rose, Ghost Cowboy, Perps, and so on. So let's get through it then, and let's see how well you did. So question number 1, we had which of these containers is the safest for drinking from, right? In terms of storing water, drinking from, and so on. So let's just jump into my folder here because I've got some, I like to go through, I like to have some answer content. So episode 7, let's just make sure I've got the right thing open. So let's have a look and see what people said then and see what people were thinking. So Danger Bob was the first in the house and he was going for B for this one, as was Urban, as was Daily and Noel. So it's looking like everyone's... Perps had C there with BPA-free plastic. Oh. See, that I just got a warning for your one, Sandy. It didn't like the ASS for some reason. Oh, here we go. Are our animal rescues in the house? She had B. Is it a she or a he, by the way? I don't know. Or they. Who knows? Let us know how I should... Let me know your pronouns. Fucking hell. Have we got to that? So, nicely done, because yes, it's glass. Glass is the least nastiestness of it all. You know, your BPA-free plastic is what you're looking for, Perps. You're absolutely right to go for C, but glass is even better than that. So, Cynthia as well, my darling, she had B. Nicely done. So well done, because it looks like virtually everybody got that right. So if you can, obviously the only downside really with glass is just the fact of the cost and of course the fragility if it breaks. But depending on what your plan for its use of it is, you know, there are some options and things. Here's a website I found that had a reasonable list of the healthiest water bottles for you and the planet. And here's the thing about glass is that it's, you know, recyclable. You can reuse the water bottles and things if they're glass. Some plastics can only be recycled about 6-7% or something like that. And of course you've got the microplastic problem working its way into your drinking water, which is why when people see expiry dates on bottles of water, they don't understand why there's an expiry date on a bottle of water. But it's because of the bottle. It's the plastic in the bottle, not the water. That's what's expiring, because the microplastics start leaking into it. So you got a clean canteen. I'm a big fan of clean canteens. This is an insulated one. I use non-insulated because you can put it on a fire and you can cook stuff up in it. But stainless steel is all right. But yeah, I didn't list stainless steel as an option. You'll notice it was glass. So yeah, well done to everybody who got that one right. So the next one then, number 2. Question number 2, we had which of the following aiming hardware is best for close targets, about 20-yard targets. So I'll be interested to see what people had for this. Let's have a look. Where's the chat? The chat is here. B we were going for, says Danger Bob. Urban Harvesting was going for B. Daily Survival went for B. Like it. Noel Marie went for iron sights. Amphir went for iron sights. Extreme Focus B. Sandy was going B as well. Answer Girl C. I'll tell you what, right? Some people could say this is a matter of taste, but it isn't. There are pros and cons to these things. I'll tell you now, is Reflex Red Dot for close range is better than even iron sights. And I'll tell you why. We'll see what we've got here. Types of gun sights, right? Just so you're familiar, so you know what we're talking about. So the iron or open sights, the iron sights are like what comes with it usually. You know, you just got the little metal bit on the front and the metal bit of the barrel, and you line them up, you know, and that's your lot, right? So your peep sights are similar, but they're just, you know. And then you got your telescopic sights, like your, what we said, the 4 times magnification, your 8 times magnification. So you got proper like binocular looking magnification for long range targets, right? But the problem with that is when you try and get yourself up there close range, to get yourself lined up on that's going to take forever. If you've ever tried using a pair of binoculars to look at something that's like the bottom of your garden or the other side of your room, you'll know what I mean about how impossible it is to line up a pair of binoculars to even find the thing you're trying to look at. So that's the reason why a scope's no good for short range. And the reflex sights is where you've got this kind of a configuration. where you have just an open glass, which you don't have to line up to glass in the scope for a normal rifle scope. You have to have, you know, the scope lined up like looking through a toilet roll tube. Reflex sight, not so much. So some of the benefits of it is about the fact that, like, first of all, what you find is that when you're... Okay, so the first benefit is that for short range, you don't want magnification. Second of all, the benefit is you can get on target much quicker with having these chappies. Because you don't have to sort of line up as... You have to use one to know what I'm talking about. But the other thing that's important is that with iron sights, which would be the only other thing to use in close range, the problem with the iron sights is you lose focus of the target because you're racking your focus of your eye from the iron sight near side and the one at the end of the barrel. Yeah? So what happens is when you're lining up for your shot, right, let's get back to the iron sight. So you've got the front sight here. When your eye is here, you're eyeing it here and you're eyeing it there. And then you're eyeing the target. So you're adjusting your focus 3 times basically, yeah? To make sure you're on target. So you have to take your eye off focus of the target. Now the benefit with the reflex sight is that the optics are designed so that dot is in the same focal parameters as the target. So in infinite focus. So it means that when you're lining it up, you're not having to remove your focus from the target. So you can follow that target at close range without your eyes having to rack focus between different points. The other benefit of a reflex sight over things like an iron sight is the fact that you can use both eyes open. So you can still have situational awareness, you can still have your ambient peripheral view rocking at its max. You don't need to close one eye with a reflex sight. And yes, I'm left-handed and right-handed. I'm ambidextrous when it comes to this kind of stuff, so I'm quite comfortable either way. But scope, left eye, not right. Hence left-handed for some things, right-handed for others. But so that's basically the idea. So I'm not sure who's rocking with what on those answers, but it looks like a lot of people had that right, which is good. Let's just have a look. Boom. So let's get to question number 3 then. Question number 3. What's the sun's total solar irradiance? So this is important because if you're planning your off-grid solar panel system, you're going to want to know that you're taking into account what's a realistic amount of juice that you can get out of a realistic amount of space. Now, the sun's total solar radiance is just the total maximum amount of available energy coming from the sun on a good clear day at sea level. Not on the top of a mountain, but at sea level, right? It's the average. It's about 1300 watts. It's about 1300 watts, but by the time it's come through the atmosphere and it's got down to sea level, it ends up being at 1000 watts, as you see here. So 1000 watt is the answer for that. So for 1 meter by 1 meter square area, the maximum but since solar panels are only about 20% efficient, 18 to 20 something percent efficient, basically, solar panels, it means that in a 1 meter by 1 meter solar panel, or a 1 meter squared surface area of solar panel, you'd expect to get about 200 watts of power from that area. That's why this is important to know. And it will vary in different countries, and it will vary, but on average, yeah, this is the Wikipedia article for solar irradiance, look. But on average, yeah, it's considered to be 1000 watts. Measured in watts per square meter, look. So, did it say here about 1300? I probably should have checked the Wikipedia thing before doing this question. I just threw this up last minute. There's lots of nice calculations here. But you'll see, it will say here somewhere, it's basically 1000, unless it's going to be stupid and not even tell us it on here. But it's 1000, 1 kilowatt per square meter. So it gives you an idea of what's realistic to expect from solar panels, given the fact that you're talking about 15 to 22% roughly efficiency. It'll give you an idea what you can expect. I wonder how many people had that even in the right ballpark. So C is what we're looking for. Danger Bob was going for B, 500 watts. Urban Harvesting had C. Good man, good man. I know Urban Harvesting's just invested in a big old off-grid system. He's going to be sending us lots of pictures into Prepper's Progress now, aren't you, Urban Harvesting? Next segment coming up after Prepper's Sigma Prepper quiz is Prepper's Progress, where people can send in their progress of prepping and we share it amongst everybody with photos. So don't miss that. Daily Survival had A there, so 150 watt. So Noelle Marie had C. Well done, my darling. She had C. So you did well. Amphir had C as well, 1000 watt. Extreme Focus had D, 2000 watt. So yeah, nicely done. So question 4 then. If all you have is soil, how much is needed to reduce radiation exposure by 50%? So if what we've got going on at the moment, this is quite an important one, isn't it? So if you wanted to dig a hole in the ground, basically, what's the, you know, how thick are you going to have your earth walls to reduce the radiation exposure by 50%? And this is 1 meter, so 3 foot. So 1 meter of soil, 3 foot of soil, even that is only going to get rid of radiations, like 50% of it penetrating through. 0.2 meter is steel, 20 centimeters. Steel. So plate steel like that, 20.2 meters, 20 centimeters of steel will reduce it by 50%. The 1 meter is soil. So let's see who had any idea how bad radiation, how difficult it is to keep out of the way of it. So question number 4, fourth one in then, A, 0.2 meters, yep. Wishful thinking, just like me. Urban Harvesting was going C, 3 meter, was going for A. Shouldn't have gone for A. Daily Survival had C, 3 meters. Noelle Marie had D, 6 meters. Amphir had C, 3 meters. So I'm surprised there's not many people got this one right, did they? Amset Girl had D, as did Carolyn. Ghost Cowboy had B, good man, good man. Perps had D. What did RR Rescue get? You get B as well, well done my darling. Oh, I don't know if you're darling, doesn't matter, it doesn't matter if you're any sex, you're darling to me, you know how I roll. So anyone who got 1 meter, nicely done, B. So number 5 then, what is the rear of an archery arrow that contacts the string cord? So again, archery is really important for preparedness. It's a good hunting tool to have. Danger Bob there had A knock. You're absolutely right, my man. You're absolutely right. So did Urban Harvesting have A. Daily Survival had A. Noelle Marie had B. But Master X, you got Amphir had A. Nicely done. Extreme Focus had A as well. Good man, because Extreme Focus you'll see in his Prepper's Progress this week. He's been getting into archery. So this is basically the knock here. This is a bolt for a crossbow, but it's the same thing. And this is a special shaped one. It's got a half moon. This is called oval. That goes up against the and that goes up against the string and takes the load on it. I'm pretty sure I had some. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So yeah, this one here, anatomy of an arrow. Look. So you got the fletching, the cresting, the point, the shaft, the knock, and so on. Another one here. Look. To give you the parts in it, so you got the bullet point, the shaft, fletching, cock or index, and you got the knock. And that's what mates up against the string and spreads the load basically onto the knock and keeps the arrow in place on the string. So question number 6, this is important. This is important. I'm interested to see how well people did on this one. Urban Harvesting had B and changed it. But Yeah, no, for gamma radiation, that's what I said about mushroom cloud business radiation was what I'm talking about. So yeah, this is the deadly radiation, because alpha and beta is not a problem. You can get rid of alpha and beta with like a plank of wood, basically. So butane gas becomes unusable below what temperature? Now it's interesting one this, because I think a lot of people underestimate what kind of impact temperature has on gas, right? People seem to think that when it's freezing cold, they're going to be able to use their gas bottles. No, you're not. Because even just as low as 1 degrees minus 1 centigrade or 31 Fahrenheit means that your butane gas is unusable. Unusable. Yeah? Because that's about the boiling point of gas. So it's at the point now where it's starting to the whole point of gas is it goes from liquid to a gas, right? But the only reason is because of if you've ever got gas on your hands, it's freezing cold, right? That's why. So in order for it to go from liquid state to gas state, for it to be burnt as a gas, it needs to be above this temperature, because this is the boiling point. Lower than this, it's not going to be a gas, is it? You see? Hence the boiling point. So I know it sounds weird for people who not like from a physics background or anything like that to have a boiling point that's 31 Fahrenheit or minus 1 degree centigrade, but that's basically what we're talking about, right? It's the boiling point of gas. So when it goes below that, it's not bubbling up anymore. And it's not releasing the gas anymore. And it becomes a problem. So what low temperature will my propane bottle stop working at? Right? So you're talking about... Now here's the thing, right? This is important. Propane is minus 42 degrees centigrade. So that's why I put that as A. I gave that as the option for A, look. Minus 42 degrees centigrade or minus 43 Fahrenheit. Propane boiling point is much, much lower temperature. So it means that you can still use propane. And this is why I always say to people, if you're going to be getting into doing gas stuff, don't fuck about with butane. Go straight to propane. Just don't make that mistake, because you've got a difference of being able to go to minus 1 degree or 32 Fahrenheit to minus 40 Fahrenheit. Yeah? So, yeah, don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. Whereas, in comparison, the boiling point, or, you know, in terms of... Got another one here, look. Why does my canister stove fail in cold weather? Right. You see here, look. Down to minus 43 degrees Fahrenheit. This is if you're talking about, unlike butane, you see. So, yeah, why the primary culprit is butane, which stops vaporizing at 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Its boiling point. Isobutane, a chemical variation of butane, continues vaporizing down to 11 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, and as it will say there, propane can go down to minus 43 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is super important to know, because, you know, when we're talking about prepping for the winter time, when we're talking about prepping for like hardcore winters and stuff with a power outage, you can't rely on your air conditioning and your electric, you're going to be... It's not going to be a good look, right? You're not going to get anything out of it. So do bear this in mind. If you're going to mess about a propane, not butane. There's no benefit to butane at all. So, question number 7 then. What is the correct colour jerry can to use for diesel? And it's funny because I talked about this. This is actually Extreme Focus suggested this as a trivia question. So thank you very much for sending this one in. Everybody else, you're more than welcome to send in your ideas for survival questions if you've got some great ones. And if you're not even a formulated question, I'm pretty good at turning it into a question, so don't worry about that. But just any inspiration or ideas you've got for questions, I'm totally open to it. So jump over onto the Discord server or something, send me a private message, and I'll only ever use one idea from one person in one set of 7, so you'd only have one question as your benefit advantage, right? But this is another important one, because if you're doing a bit of urban harvesting and you're out there trying to harvest some stuff in the urban environment, you're going to want to have a rough idea what's inside what coloured can if people are following the rules. What are the rules, Andy? Well, it should be yellow. It should be yellow. Ideally, you can't rely on it. You can't rely on people doing this, but if you're going to start getting yourself organised, then at least yourself, you can set off down the right track. So a red jerry can, gas can, is usually going to be your gasoline, you know, your 98, your 95 octane sort of typical unleaded, whatever, leaded gasoline. Your blue is going to be for your Jet A1 fuel, your kerosene, paraffin, stuff like that, yeah. Yellow's going to be for your diesels. Green's going to be oil storage and so on. You've got things like white. White would be water. You see white there, that would be covering your water. And then, as you see there, blue would be, what do you call it? So, yeah, so basically that leads us to the final answers should look something like this. And so what it means in terms of the winner, and by the way, I got my buttons fixed this time. So all my advanced animation things that I make overcomplicate so many things, but I should have it working this time. But thank you very much to Master X in the house for being my moderator for the winner. And I can tell you now, we do have another winner. We don't have a 7 out of 7. The best we've rustled up for us this week as the winner this week is who? Urban Harvesting does it again. 5 out of 7. Great job, Urban Harvesting. Great job. Nicely done. Thank you, Xavier, for getting the results in. So we also had Daily Survival had 5 out of 7, and we had Amphir as well was next with 5 out of 7. So well done to everybody with 5 out of 7. Urban Harvesting, he gets it though. The first one to get 5, the first one to get the highest number. He gets a great job of 5 out of 7. He'll be going on to the leaderboard.